What if I told you that by New Year's Eve 2025, the one item most likely to keep your family fed isn't rice, beans, or even canned meat, but something 92% of preppers are completely overlooking? Here's why this matters. Grocery shortages are spiraling out of control, prices are skyrocketing faster than they did in 2022, and supply chain experts are warning that 2026 could be the year everything breaks. I'm Mike, and I've been prepping since 2014. Over the past 6 weeks, I've been knee-deep in USDA reports, FEMA alerts, and real-time data from prepper forums, Reddit threads, and emergency supply retailers across the US. What I uncovered is alarming. The average American pantry, it won't last 72 hours in a real crisis. But here's the kicker. The smartest preppers aren't wasting money on overpriced MREs or underground bunkers. They're quietly stockpiling ultra-cheap, ultra-durable staples with 15 to 30-year shelf lives, many of which are hiding in plain sight at your local Walmart. In this video, I'm breaking down the top 10 survival essentials flying off shelves before 2026. One of them is a Depression-era staple that saved a family in Ohio during the May 2025 blackout. Another, it's already sold out in 3 states. Stick around, because this list could make or break your family's survival. And while you're here, drop a comment. What shortages or price hikes are you seeing in your area? Flour? Oil? Salt? Your tip could help thousands prepare before it's too late. Let's dive in. Number 10, the 30-year protein powerhouse. Let's get one thing straight. When the supply chain finally snaps, your fancy tactical gear won't fill your stomach. What will? The humble dried bean. Pinto, black, kidney, it doesn't matter. While others scramble for overpriced MREs, smart preppers are quietly buying up hundreds of pounds of dried beans, and you need to understand why. This isn't just about cheap food. It's about long-term, indestructible survival. 1 single pound of dried beans provides 12 full servings of protein, fiber, and slow-release carbohydrates. That's enough energy to get you through a day of hard labor, something you'll need when modern conveniences disappear. There's no refrigeration required, no complex preparation, just add water and heat. The real game changer is their shelf life. When you take these beans out of their flimsy store packaging and seal them correctly in a Mylar bag with oxygen absorbers, they will last for over 30 years. That's not an exaggeration. The beans you stockpile in 2025 could feed your grandchildren a legitimate nutrient-dense meal in 2055. During the Midwest supply chain freeze of 2024, when meat prices shot up overnight, families with a deep pantry of beans didn't even flinch. They had everything they needed to make filling, hearty meals. They had security. Here's the blunt truth. Most people fail at this. They buy a few bags, toss them in a cabinet, and assume they're prepared. That's a fatal mistake. Humidity, pests, and mold will turn that food into worthless dust within a year. If you're serious, you must transfer your beans into proper storage. Food-grade buckets, Mylar bags, or vacuum-sealed jars. The same day you bring them home. Keep them in a cool, dark, dry place, and they will outlast nearly every other asset you own. Right now, a 25-pound bag costs next to nothing, but that won't last. The quiet stockpiling has already begun. Number 9, the calorie king of the pantry. Forget the trendy superfoods and complex grains. The undisputed king of long-term caloric security is plain, long-grain white rice. It's unassuming, cheap, and often overlooked, which is exactly why it's a prepper's most powerful secret weapon. In a crisis, your body doesn't need quinoa. It needs reliable, dense calories to keep you going when stress and physical exertion are at an all-time high. White rice delivers that in spades. More than just calories, it provides a psychological anchor. A warm bowl of rice is familiar, comforting, and easy on a digestive system ravaged by stress. When the world outside is chaos, that small piece of normalcy is invaluable. The critical difference between a novice and a seasoned prepper lies in understanding the science of rice. Brown rice, with its healthy oils and bran, will go rancid in 6 to 12 months. It's a short-term food, not a long-term solution. White rice, on the other hand, has had the bran and germ removed, leaving behind a stable starch that is built to last. When stored properly in an airtight container with oxygen absorbers, away from light and heat, it has a proven shelf life of 25 to 30 years. Think about that. For the cost of a few pizzas, you can secure a foundational food source that will outlive your mortgage. During the widespread flooding that crippled Iowa last spring, roads were impassable for weeks. One family documented surviving for 19 days on a simple diet: white rice, pinto beans, and bouillon, all cooked with harvested rainwater over a camp stove. They didn't have freeze-dried gourmet meals. They had the basics, and it was enough. A 50-pound bag of white rice costs around $25 at a warehouse store right now. That breaks down to pennies per serving. It's the most efficient way to turn a small investment into a massive caloric reserve that will be there when you need it most. Number 8. The liquid gold dairy solution. Fresh milk is a liability. It requires constant refrigeration and has a shelf life measured in days. In any grid-down scenario, it will be one of the first things to disappear, leaving a massive nutritional and psychological gap, especially for families with children. The solution is powdered milk, and if you're picturing the chalky, unappetizing powder from decades ago, you're dangerously out of date. Modern processing techniques have transformed powdered milk into a creamy, nutrient-rich powerhouse that is nearly indistinguishable from fresh when prepared correctly. Brands like Peak and Hoosier Hill Farm use low-heat methods that preserve the flavor and nutritional integrity, making it a perfectly acceptable substitute. In a crisis, maintaining a sense of normalcy is crucial for morale. Think about it: morning cereal, pancakes, oatmeal, coffee. So many comfort foods rely on milk. Being able to provide that for your family is the difference between a calm, managed situation and one filled with anxiety and deprivation. Powdered milk is your key to that stability. It's packed with the same calcium, vitamin D, and protein as its liquid counterpart, all essential nutrients when your diet becomes limited. The strategic advantage of powdered milk is its incredible storage density and longevity. A single 10 can, which takes up minimal space, can provide gallons of milk and will last for 15 to 20 years if stored correctly in a cool, dark place. For maximum life, transfer it to Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers. This isn't a food you just reconstitute and drink. Its real power is in its versatility. Add it directly to batters, doughs, and sauces to boost creaminess and protein. Mix it into mashed potatoes or gravies. It's a secret ingredient that enhances your limited food stores, making every meal more substantial. While others panic during the inevitable dairy shortages, you'll be providing for your family without interruption. Number 7. The flavor weapon for morale. Your survival pantry could be stocked with 1,000 pounds of rice and beans, but if the food is bland and unappetizing, you will fail. Food fatigue is real, and it crushes morale faster than almost anything else in a long-term crisis. This is why the most overlooked yet critical item in a prepper's arsenal is bouillon. Those simple cubes or powders are not just a soup starter, they are a weapon against despair. In a grid-down world where you're eating the same staples day after day, the ability to introduce a rich, savory flavor is a psychological lifeline. Smart preppers know this, and they are buying bouillon by the case. Imagine this scenario. It's day 10 without power, it's cold, and you're facing another meal of plain boiled rice. Your energy is low, and your family is miserable. Now imagine dropping a single bouillon cube into a mug of hot water. Instantly you have a warm, salty, flavorful broth. It hydrates you, replenishes electrolytes lost through sweat or stress, and provides a profound sense of comfort. That small act can reset your entire mindset. It can make a bland plate of grains palatable, ensuring you and your family consume the calories you desperately need to survive. During the Texas freeze of February 2025, when millions were left without power and running water, post-event reports from prepper communities overwhelmingly cited bouillon as one of the most used items. It wasn't the high-tech water filters or expensive protein bars, it was the cheap, simple flavor enhancer that made their stored food edible and their situation bearable. Bouillon is lightweight, compact, and boasts a shelf life of 10 to 15 years when kept dry. People dismiss it as a mere condiment, but that is a foolish oversight. In a world stripped of modern comforts, flavor isn't a luxury, it's a critical component of survival. It's the difference between merely existing and having the will to keep going. Number 6. The 20-year breakfast food that's a survival multi-tool. Let's talk about rolled oats. Most people see a canister of oats and think of a bland, mushy breakfast. That nearsightedness is a critical error. In a survival scenario, rolled oats are one of the most versatile and durable assets you can own. This isn't about stocking a few novelty meals. This is about securing a foundational food that provides calories, comfort, and culinary flexibility when you need it most. The key is their incredible shelf life. When properly stored, rolled oats can last for over 20 years. That's not a typo. You must get them out of the cardboard tube from the grocery store and into a sealed food-grade bucket with oxygen absorbers. Do this, and you have a food source that outlasts political regimes. The value of oats goes far beyond a simple breakfast. Think about the psychological impact of a crisis. When the power is out and fear is setting in, a warm bowl of oatmeal can provide a profound sense of normalcy and comfort, especially for children. It's a taste of the world before things went wrong. But their real power lies in their versatility. When your resources are dwindling, oats become a force multiplier. Low on flour? Grind rolled oats in a blender to create a functional flour for pancakes, flatbreads, or to thicken stews. Need to make your limited protein supply last longer? Mix oats into ground meat for burgers or meatloaf. They act as a binder, add substance, and stretch your precious resources without sacrificing texture. A thin, watery soup becomes a hearty, filling meal with just a handful of oats tossed in. Let's be blunt about the cost. Oats are one of the cheapest sources of calories you can buy. A bulk bag of store-brand rolled oats translates to mere pennies per serving, making it significantly more cost-effective than rice or pasta in many regions. A single 10 can provides hundreds of servings for less than the price of a single takeout meal. During the grain shipment disruptions caused by the Midwest floods in early 2025, the price of oats spiked, and they vanished from shelves. Those who had already stockpiled them didn't notice. They were secure. Don't be the person scrambling for scraps. Buy oats now while they are cheap and plentiful. Number 5, the immortal sweetener and medicine. In a world where every food product has an expiration date, one substance stands alone: honey. Archaeologists have uncovered pots of honey in 3,000-year-old Egyptian tombs that were still perfectly edible. This isn't folklore, it's a scientific fact. Honey's naturally low moisture content, high acidity, and production of hydrogen peroxide make it an inhospitable environment for bacteria and other microorganisms. It simply does not spoil. For a prepper, this makes raw, unfiltered honey a non-negotiable, long-term asset. But its value extends far beyond its immortality. In a collapse, sugar will become a scarce luxury. Honey is more than just a sweetener, it's a source of morale. A spoonful in tea or on oatmeal provides a taste of sweetness and normalcy that can be a powerful psychological anchor in a grim reality. Beyond its role as a comfort food, honey is a survival multi-tool. It's a dense source of simple carbohydrates, providing a rapid energy boost for physically demanding tasks. When you're exhausted from manual labor, a quick dose of honey can be the fuel you need to keep going. More importantly, honey is a potent medicinal agent. For centuries, it has been used as a natural antibiotic and wound dressing. Raw honey applied to cuts, scrapes, and burns creates a protective barrier, keeps the wound moist, and actively fights infection. Its antimicrobial properties are so effective that medical-grade honey is now used by militaries and in hospitals for advanced wound care. Having a supply of honey means you have a backup for when antiseptic wipes and antibiotic ointments run out. Yes, a gallon of raw honey is more expensive than a 10-pound bag of refined sugar. But you are not buying a simple commodity. You are investing in a permanent asset. A single gallon contains thousands of servings, and unlike sugar, which can harden or attract pests, honey will remain perfect in a sealed container for your entire lifetime. Right now, bee populations are under severe stress from environmental factors, and beekeepers are reporting record colony losses. Supply is tightening, while demand from savvy individuals is quietly rising. Do not wait until a gallon costs $100 or more. Secure your supply of this liquid gold now. Store it in a cool, dark place, and know you possess a resource that is part food, part medicine, and entirely permanent. Number 4, the crystal that becomes currency. If you think salt is just for making food taste better, you won't last long. In any significant crisis, salt becomes one of the most vital and strategic resources you can possess. Your body cannot function without it. As you exert yourself through physical labor, you lose critical electrolytes through sweat. This leads to muscle cramps, fatigue, dizziness, and eventually life-threatening hyponatremia. In a grid-down scenario, maintaining your body's salt balance is not a luxury, it is a medical necessity. Plain water can rehydrate you, but it won't replace the lost sodium required for your nerves and muscles to fire correctly. A small amount of salt is the difference between being a functional asset and a liability to your group. The second critical function of salt is food preservation. Before refrigeration, salt was the primary method for preserving meat, fish, and vegetables for the long term. If the grid fails for an extended period, your freezer full of meat will rot within days. Your ability to use salt to cure that meat, turning it into jerky or salt pork, will determine whether your family eats or starves. The same applies to a bumper harvest from a garden. Pickling vegetables with a salt brine allows you to store that food for months or even years without electricity. Without a significant stockpile of salt, long-term food security is impossible. Here's the part that most people don't grasp: salt becomes currency. During the 11-day shutdown of East Coast distribution hubs in 2024, barter networks emerged overnight. While people traded ammo and batteries, the one item with universal stable value was salt. It's essential, non-perishable, easily divisible, and its quality is self-evident. There were documented cases of people trading valuable gear for a single bucket of canning salt because they understood its true worth. Right now, a 25-pound bag of pure canning or pickling salt, the kind without additives, is incredibly cheap. For less than $10, you can acquire a resource that can preserve hundreds of pounds of food, serve as medicine, and act as a reliable form of money when cash is worthless. Store it in a dry place, and it will outlive you. Overlooking salt is one of the most common and foolish mistakes a prepper can make. Number 3, the 30-year bread machine that needs no power. Forget flimsy bags of processed flour that go bad in a year. The real foundation of long-term food security is found in its rawest form, hard wheat berries. While inexperienced preppers load up on pasta and pancake mix, the strategic ones are stockpiling 50-pound bags of these dense whole wheat kernels. Why? Because they are a nearly indestructible food source. When stored correctly, sealed in food-grade buckets with oxygen absorbers, and kept in a cool, dark environment, wheat berries have a proven shelf life of 30 years or more. Unlike flour, which exposes its volatile oils to oxygen and quickly becomes rancid, the hard outer shell of the wheat berry protects the nutrients and calories locked inside for decades. The true power of this resource is unleashed with one simple, non-electric tool, a hand-cranked grain mill. For an investment of around $50, you gain complete independence from the fragile commercial baking industry. With a few minutes of manual effort, you can transform these rock-hard kernels into fresh, nutrient-dense flour. This isn't just about making bread, it's about having the core ingredient for pancakes, tortillas, biscuits, and pasta. A single cup of wheat berries yields roughly 1.5 cups of flour, packing over 600 calories, along with vital protein, fiber, and B vitamins. This is the energy your body needs to handle the intense physical and mental stress of a long-term crisis. This is not a hypothetical scenario. In April 2025, a combination of rail strikes and cyber attacks crippled distribution centers, leading to widespread bread shortages across 7 states. The shelves were bare not because of a wheat shortage, but because the system that processes and delivers bread had failed. Families who had stockpiled wheat berries and owned a mill were unaffected. They baked their own bread, maintaining a sense of normalcy and security while their neighbors panicked. Wheat berries are also a complete food system. You can boil them whole, like rice, for a chewy, nutty side dish, or sprout them for a source of fresh greens and enzymes in the dead of winter. It is one of the most calorie-dense, cost-effective, and versatile survival foods you can own. Number 2, the shelf-stable energy source. Everyone forgets. Let's get blunt about a critical survival oversight. Fat. Your pantry can be overflowing with rice and beans, but without a stable source of dietary fat, your body will begin to fail. Carbohydrates provide quick energy, and protein rebuilds muscle. But fat is the slow-burning log on the fire that keeps you warm, fuels your brain, and provides the dense calories needed for long-term endurance. In a crisis, your body's caloric needs will skyrocket, and a low-fat diet will lead to rapid fatigue, cognitive decline, and an inability to stay warm. This is why smart preppers are looking past the vegetable oil aisle and stocking up on shelf-stable fats like lard, coconut oil, and solid shortening. The problem with standard liquid cooking oils is their short shelf life. They typically go rancid within a year or two. Solid fats, on the other hand, are built for the long haul. A sealed can or tub of lard or shortening can last up to 10 years on a cool, dark shelf. Coconut oil is similarly robust. These fats provide the long-term stability that your food storage plan desperately needs. Their value, however, goes far beyond cooking. Fat is a multi-purpose survival tool. A small amount of lard can be used to season cast iron, lubricate tools, or create a barrier on the skin to prevent chapping in cold weather. Coconut oil has natural antimicrobial properties, making it useful for minor wound care or oral hygiene. In a prolonged grid-down scenario, these fats can even be used as a fuel source for simple lamps, providing crucial light. Most emergency food checklists completely ignore this nutritional pillar, focusing solely on carbs and protein. A recent analysis found that the majority of household emergency supplies are dangerously deficient in dietary fat, setting people up for failure. A single tablespoon of lard adds over 100 calories of pure energy to an otherwise lean meal of rice and beans. It transforms a bland, unsatisfying dish into a rich, satiating one that will keep you full and functional for hours. With supply chains becoming more fragile, securing these shelf-stable fats isn't just a good idea. It's a critical and often forgotten key to survival. Number 1, the micronutrient lifeline for a post-grocery world. The single most important survival item that 90% of preppers overlook isn't a food, a filter, or a firearm. It's a simple container of multivitamins. Here is the brutal reality of a long-term crisis. You can survive for weeks on a diet of stored staples like rice, beans, and flour, but you will not be healthy. You will be slowly falling apart from the inside out. Surviving isn't just about staving off hunger, it's about maintaining bodily function. Without a steady supply of essential micronutrients, your immune system will collapse, your cognitive function will degrade, and your body's ability to heal itself will vanish. This is not a risk, it is a certainty. Within 30 to 60 days on a limited survival diet, your body will exhaust its stores of critical vitamins like C and B complex. The result is not just fatigue, it's the beginning of deficiency diseases like scurvy, a condition you thought was confined to 18th century pirates. It starts with bleeding gums, progresses to joint pain, and ends with your immune system shutting down. A simple cold can become pneumonia. A small cut can lead to a life-threatening infection. Your brain fogs, your energy vanishes, and your will to survive erodes. A full belly means nothing if your body is shutting down. This is where multivitamins become a non-negotiable lifeline. A high-quality powdered multivitamin or a bottle of tablets provides the essential zinc, magnesium, iron, and vitamins that your bulk foods lack. They are your defense against the invisible breakdown happening within your body. The cost is negligible. A year's supply can be purchased for less than $20. When sealed in Mylar bags with oxygen absorbers, emergency-grade multivitamins can maintain their potency for 5 to 10 years. During the 22-day Midwest blackout of March 2025, one prepared family reported that their daily vitamin regimen was the key to keeping their children healthy, while others in their community got sick. They didn't have more food, they had smarter nutrition. Do not make the mistake of focusing only on calories. Your resilience, your clarity of mind, and your very ability to fight another day depend on these essential micronutrients.